It's September the 17th. Let's read the Bible. Welcome back, friends, to this year-long journey from Genesis to Revelation in just 1 year. Got a note from somebody who made a comment while I was reading the book of Proverbs a few weeks ago. This person said, "I love the book of Proverbs. I could listen to its wisdom over and over again. While I hadn't gone into your list of podcasts as a new listener, I was wondering if you'd already read Proverbs. I just hadn't looked for it yet. I started with you the end of June every morning at 4 a.m., so I am usually listening to the reading from the day before." Well, thank you. Thank you for joining. And 4 a.m. is pretty early to be watching or listening. And of course, depends on where you are in the country in terms of when we post the new videos. But or where you are in the world. But let me remind all of our viewers and listeners, just a reminder, all the videos you can find at keepbelieving.com, and all the audio you can find at Spotify, Google Play, or iTunes. And we post automatically. The video is posted at keepbelieving.com, 7 a.m. Central Time every morning. And sometime early in the morning, actually, maybe that exact hour, I'm not really sure, but early in the morning sometime, we post the audio to those 3 locations. So we want you to follow along, and wherever you are with us, it doesn't matter. Thank you for being part of this year-long adventure from Genesis to Revelation in just 1 year. So here we are, middle of the book of Song of Solomon. And a reminder that yesterday and today, just these 2 days, I am not reading from the CSB, but from the BSB, which is it's sometimes called the Berean Study Bible or the Berean Standard Bible. Wonderful, newer translation. I think it was released in 2016. Check it out. I think they did a really, really nice job. Did a real good job here in the book of Song of Solomon. Just a quick recap. Song of Solomon is unique. People say, wouldn't even have included it if God hadn't put it in there, because it appears to be secular, but it's not. It's actually a poem, a Hebrew poem, in praise of love, courtship, marriage, and the sexual intimacy between a man and woman inside the covenant of marriage. It's in praise of married love, of marriage itself, of the value of marriage, of the purity of marriage, of the joy and the fulfillment of marriage. And through all of these similes and metaphors and comparisons, it's pure, it's powerful, it's chaste, and yet it is in the good sense. In the good sense, it's sensual and erotic. Erotic, we usually say erotic in a negative way, but there is a good form of biblical sensuality, and it is in this book. Remember, this is a true story told in poetic form, a series of snapshots between Solomon, the king, and this otherwise unnamed Shulamite maiden. Now, it's a parable, it's an allegory, but it's based on historical truth. So we ought to read it as what it is. It's an actual history of a human relationship, and from it, we draw the lessons about love and marriage, but we draw high lessons about God's love for his people and Christ's love for his church. And, if you read Ephesians 5, we'll be in Ephesians in just a few days, you'll see how Paul just jumps back and forth between Christ and the church and marriage between a husband and a wife. And he does so effortlessly and without, naturally. Shows us we ought to think of it the same way. I think this book is a great reminder of purity, the beauty of sexual love. Right over Song of Solomon, Hebrews 13:4, marriage is honorable in all things. God honors marriage, and the marriage bed itself, the coming together of a husband and wife in Christian marriage, it is undefiled. It's holy and good and right in the sight of God. It's true. Solomon was not the best example of all of this, and yet God gave it to us. I think it's a reminder of what can be, what ought to be, what could be. It's a goal for all of us. And even if your past is not perfect in the area of marriage, sexual, behavior, you can have a new start. Your past does not determine your future from God's point of view. Now, let's jump in to Song of Solomon chapter 5. We're going to read to the end of the book, and I'm going to give you these divisions that are inside the Berean Study Bible, or the Berean Standard Bible. Modern translations, all of them do a little bit of this, and this is a way of helping us understand the flow here. Chapter 5, Bridegroom. I have come into my garden, my sister, my bride. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Last part of chapter 4, the bride's point of view. First part of chapter 5, the groom's point of view. This is the coming together of the husband and wife, Solomon and the Shulamite maiden. This is the consummation of their love on the wedding night. It is chaste, it is beautiful, it is sensual, and it is extremely satisfying. The friends. Eat, O friends, and drink. Drink freely, O beloved, the bride. I sleep, but my heart is awake. A sound, my beloved is knocking. Open to me, my sister, my darling, my dove, my flawless one. My head is drenched with dew, my hair with the dampness of the night. I have taken off my robe. Must I put it back on? I have washed my feet. Must I soil them again? My beloved put his hand to the latch. My heart pounded for him. I rose up to open for my beloved. My hands dripped with myrrh, my fingers with flowing myrrh. On the handles of the bolt, I opened for my beloved, but he had turned and gone. My heart sank at his departure. I sought him, but did not find him. I called, but he did not answer. I encountered the watchmen on their rounds of the city. They beat me and bruised me. They took away my cloak. Those guardians of the walls, O daughters of Jerusalem, I adjure you, if you find my beloved, tell him I am sick with love. The friends, how is your beloved better than others? O most beautiful among women, how is your beloved better than another, that you charge her so? The bride, my beloved is dazzling and ruddy, outstanding among 10,000. His head is purest gold. His hair is waving and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves beside the streams of water, bathed in milk and mounted like jewels. His cheeks are like beds of spice, towers of perfume. His lips are like lilies dripping with flowing myrrh. His arms are rods of gold set with beryl. His body is an ivory panel bedecked with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble set on bases of pure gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, as majestic as the cedars. His mouth is most sweet. He is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Chapter 6. The friends. Where has your beloved gone, O most beautiful among women? Which way is he turned? We will seek him with you. The bride. My beloved has gone down to his garden, to the beds of spices, to pasture his flock in the gardens and to gather lilies. I belong to my beloved, and he belongs to me. He pastures his flock among the lilies. The bridegroom. You are as beautiful, my darling, as Tirzah, as lovely as Jerusalem, as majestic as troops with banners. Turn your eyes away from me, for they have overcome me. Your hair is like a flock of goats, streaming down from Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep coming up from the washing. Each has its twin. Not one of them is lost. Your brow before your veil is like a slice of pomegranate. There are 60 queens and 80 concubines and maidens without number. But my dove, my perfect one, is unique, the favorite of the mother who bore her. The maidens see her and call her blessed. The queens and concubines sing her praises. Friends, who is this who shines like the dawn, as fair as the moon, as bright as the sun, as majestic as the stars in procession? Bridegroom, I went down to the walnut grove to see the blossoms of the valley, to see if the vines were budding or the pomegranates were in bloom. Before I realized it, my desire had set me among the royal chariots of my people. The friends, come back, O Shulamite, come back, we may gaze upon you. The bridegroom, why do you look at the Shulamite as on the dance of the Mahanaim? Chapter 7, the bridegroom, talking now about his bride. How beautiful are your sandals' feet, O daughter of the prince. The curves of your thighs are like jewels, the handiwork of a master. Your navel is a rounded goblet. It never lacks blended wine. Your waist is a mound of wheat, encircled by the lilies. Your breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle. Your neck is like a tower made of ivory. Your eyes are like the pools of Heshbon by the gate of Bath Rabbin. Your nose is like the tower of Lebanon, facing toward Damascus. Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel. The hair of your head like purple threads. The king is captured in your tresses. How fair and pleasant you are, O love, with your delights. Your stature is like a palm tree. Your breasts are like clusters of fruit. I said, I will climb the palm tree. I will take hold of its fruit. May your breasts be like clusters of the vine, the fragrance of your breath like apples, and your mouth like the finest wine. The bride, may it flow smoothly to my beloved, gliding gently over lips and teeth. I belong to my beloved. His desire is for me. Come, my beloved, let us go to the countryside. Let us spend the night among the wildflowers. Let us go early to the vineyards to see if the vine is budded, if the blossom has opened, if the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love. The mandrakes send forth a fragrance, and at our door is every delicacy, new as well as old, that I have treasured up for you, my beloved. Chapter 8. Oh, that you were to me like a brother who nursed at my mother's breast. If I found you outdoors, I would kiss you, and no one would despise me. I would lead you, bring you to the house of my mother, who taught me. I would give you spiced wine to drink, the nectar of my pomegranates. His left hand is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. O daughters of Jerusalem, I adjure you, do not arouse or awaken love until the time is right. Friends, who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning on her beloved? Bride, I roused you under the apple tree. There your mother conceived you. There she travailed and brought you forth. Set me as a seal over your heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is as strong as death, its jealousy as unrelenting as Sheol. Its sparks are fiery flames, the fiercest blaze of all. Mighty waters cannot quench love. Rivers cannot sweep it away. If a man were to give all the wealth of his house for love, his offer would be utterly scorned. Friends, we have a little sister, and her breasts are not yet grown. What shall we do for our sister on the day she is spoken for? If she is a wall, we will build a tower of silver to protect her. If she is a door, we will enclose her with panels of cedar. The bride, I am a wall, and my breasts are like towers. So I have become in his eyes like one who brings peace. That's one of the sweetest phrases in the whole book. In the midst of all of this imagery, I have become in his eyes like one who brings peace. He looks to her, and his heart is at rest. Is that not what marriage is supposed to be? The husband is out there. He's in the middle of everything. But when he sees her, the cares go away like one who brings peace. Solomon had a vineyard in Baal Hamon. He leased it to the tenants. For its fruit, each was to bring 1,000 shekels of silver. But my own vineyard is mine to give. The 1,000 shekels are for you, O Solomon, and 200 are for those who tend its fruit. Bridegroom, you who dwell in the gardens, my companions are listening for your voice. Let me hear it. And here's the end of the book. The bride speaks, come away, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or a young stag on the mountains of spices. You know, the outline, I got to find it here, the outline of this book. Well, yeah, here it is. Chapters 1, 2, and 3, courtship, their great desire for each other. I faint with love, she says. The marriage and the consummation of the marriage, chapters 4 and 5. And then something happens, the maturity. They're separated for some period of time. And then, I don't mean, but something has happened. I mean, literally a separation, but something has happened. Something has happened, and then they are back together. That is the end of the book. That's why I call chapters 6, 7, and 8 maturity, courtship, marriage, and maturity. That here is a relationship that started and continued and is blessed by God and has overcome the challenges of life is growing in its maturity. That's why this book, this is why it's in the Bible. We ought to teach this book. We ought to study this book. Couples should read this book. You could, husband and wife could take these parts and read them to each other. I think that would be, part of a good marriage is appreciating each other. There's a lot in here about the physical appreciation, but here's a husband who's really studied his wife, and he likes what he sees. He likes her beauty on the outside and on the inside. He notices it, and he tells her. He's unashamed. His heart is set on her. That is why she could say earlier, I got to find it right here. Love is set me as a seal over your heart, as a seal upon your arm. And let me be welded to you and you to me. For love is as strong as death. It's jealousy, and there is a godly jealousy. It's as unrelenting as Sheol. Its sparks are fiery flames, the fiercest blaze of all. Mighty waters cannot quench love. Rivers cannot sweep it away. This is like the applicational part of the book. Now, I often think, whenever I have done over the years many, many weddings, and I'm sure maybe I've told you this before, but I think as an officiating minister, when I'm standing there in the blushing bride and the goofy looking groom, it's amazing how that works. Not all grooms look goofy, but a lot of them look like sort of like a little bit like deer caught in the headlights. Believe me, I was there. That's how I felt too. The blushing, beautiful bride, and then the groom who was just a little bit worried about and unsure about everything. And I think to myself, they don't have a clue. How could they? How could you have a clue? You do know more the next day after the first night, but how much do you know after the first night? Not that much. And even a month later, you're a lot smarter a month later, and 6 months later, you're a whole lot smarter, and a year or two later, but 5 years and 10 years, and we hear about the 7-year itch and all of that, And there's a truth there. Marriage has its seasons, and it has its challenges, and it has its temptations. All of that is true. But it's a wonderful thing to start off like this, to start off deeply in love, truly appreciating and truly enjoying each other under God. This is what marriage ought to be. And this is a picture of the love of God for his people. It is a picture of the love of Christ for the church. That's why I say, in today's messed up world, the very best apologetic tool we have is a godly, happy Christian marriage. Godly, happy. A godly, happy Christian marriage. Husband, wife who love each other and love the Lord, and kids running around there. Yes, that's a great, and it's a great thing to be married 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 as I'm saying this. Marlene and I've just crossed over 49 years married. By God's grace, about another year, hit that 50th anniversary. It's just challenging me to think about this. Last word. Otherwise, I just ramble on for hours. We all got stuff to do today, but that's final thought. I think in today's broken, messed up world, the best apologetic tool we have is a godly, happy, joyful Christian marriage, where the husband loves the wife and the wife loves the husband, and they are raising their kids if God gives them kids. If their kids are still at home, doesn't matter. What a blessing it is. And this is where it starts. Okay, friends, you know what I feel after 2 days? I feel like I felt after Job. I want to go back and read Job again. Think some more. I got more thinking to do about Job. I got more thinking to do about Song of Solomon. What a great book. This book is a book for today, a book for the 21st century. It's a book for you and me. Friends, go out and have a great day. God's plan is good. Doesn't matter remember, your past does not determine your future. does not. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Who knows what the rest of this day will bring? Go out and have a great and God-blessed day. Guess what? Tomorrow, we're going to hop from the Song of Solomon back to the New Testament into the great book of Galatians. It's going to be amazing. Have a great day, folks. Come back tomorrow. We're going to do this again. God bless. See you then.